allocable in certain congressional districts. And in our understanding, there is around 500 billion worth of allocable projects, 400 billion of allocable from the 500, and around 100 B, which are not considered allocable, but considered non-allocable. Meaning, sa aking pagkakaintindi, tama po kayo, yung allocable, yung sa district congressman na pwedeng i-erata, meaning it can be changed. But there's a portion of the total of 500B in the budget where there's 100 that is, as you said, maybe national in scope, whatever it is, that cannot be changed, that cannot be subject to errata. Can I confirm that with the agency, with the DPWH, if there are such projects that cannot be subject to errata by the district congressman and should not be touched or changed for some reasons?
I would assume that is the non-allocable because it's national in scope. So, for example, here, tinitignan ko po, for example, payments of right-of-way, national building program, highways, foreign assisted projects, flagship projects. So, for example, may flagship project doon sa lugar ng isang congressman. Hindi naman niya pwedeng tanggalin yung flagship project as gagawin niyang water treatment or water supply project, no? Because that's national in scope. So, to make it simple, that is the example. No?
So, Mr. President, para po maliwanag, yung allocable would be the projects within the district that can be errated.
Yes, Mr.
Subject to
President.
errata.
Correct.
By the district congressman.
Yes.
And there would be projects that cannot be subject to errata because it's allegedly non-allocable.
Yes.
Is that correct? Is that my
Yes,
understanding?
correct. Tama po.
Is that our interpretation between the chair
So it's
and the
actually I'm
interpolator,
reading,
or is
I'm
this-
reading a definition that came from DPWH. So yes, pareho po.
and the complete 500B of allocable and non-allocable were submitted to the Senate LBRMO so that we
Yes,
see
yes.
the
Insofar as
100
the
B.
NEP is concerned.
Yes. So we see the 100B of the non-allocable, which is not subject to errata by the district congressman.
Yes,
Is that correct?
Correct.
Was that provided us?
Yes,
Complete.
the NEP, but I'm requesting that they provide us with the HGAP, with the GAB, Mr. President.
You're accurate because what we were provided for was the NEP, but it
Yes.
changed
Yes,
drastically.
correct.
And so what we need to review and to see what are the items in the 100 billion non-allocable, the untouchable projects,
Yes,
because it evolved after the HGAB, Mr. President.
correct, Mr. President.
Yes. And
So
that,
they'll furnish the committee with that allocable, non-allocable division based on the GAB.
thank you, because that's what we were asking during our hearing, but
Yes.
what we received was the NEP, but it's
Yes.
different. It evolved
Yes,
already.
malayo.
Malayo
Hindi
na
naman
po.
malayo, but may changes.
Iba na po.
Oo,
It's
iba
a
na.
different animal altogether.
Yeah, hindi malayo,
So,
but may changes.
we would
po.
request, the night is late, tomorrow for the non-allocable, after the HGAB.
Yes,
I appreciate,
allocable and non-allocable. Yeah.
yes.
Yes, yes.
thank you. I appreciate, that so that we understand it further.
Okay.
Because again, I'm basing this on what I saw with Senator Lacson and the difficulty in trying to understand. And if we cannot understand certain district projects, what more the so-called non-allocable? Right? Yes. Thank you for your openness, Mr. President. Now, I would just have maybe one or two last questions. As you know, you assigned me to defend the budget of the Department of Tourism. And during my defense of the tourism budget, this included the Tourism Road Infrastructure Program, but it is not lodged under the DOT. It is under the DPWH. It is carried again in the 2026 proposed budget for approximately 3,781,000,000 plus. This is reflected in the 2026 GAB and in our committee report. While the program is intended to improve access to key tourism destinations, this amount is substantial when viewed in practical terms. If we, let's say, move it to classrooms, at 2 million per classroom, this allocation could fund the construction of approximately 1,890 classrooms nationwide. This underscores the scale of public resources involved and the importance of ensuring that these funds are directed to projects that are well vetted, truly impactful, and strategic. Why am I saying this, Mr. President? I am supposed to defend the tourism budget, but I myself am saying that it could probably be to better use if we devote it to classrooms, because no less than the Secretary of Tourism herself said that this will hardly benefit any tourism destination, because these are multi-year projects of not even 1 kilometer, 4 million pesos, and these are divided in some districts which are not really towards tourism destinations. And so this actually has been a recurring concern, not only for fiscal year 2026, since I started defending the tourism budget. These concerns have been raised regarding the program's actual monitoring, the alignment with actual tourism priorities and plans, and the measurable contribution to local economic and tourism outcomes. So, trip. There's a trip, 3.75. I am certain, almost, that the new DPWH team did not even vet this. And so we left it that way. In fact, if you look at the application of the detailed, the CMPD, the trip program of tourism was not even reduced. It was only reduced by 2%, 2 to 3%, which means the CMPD was not even applied to the trip. And so I am in a quandary, Mr. President. I am supposed to defend the DOT budget, but this tourism infrastructure is lodged in the DPWH. But the tourism secretary herself said that she was made to sign an endorsement way back for tourism infrastructure roads that did not emanate from the DOT. It was from the former team. So, what to do?
Well, Mr. President, in fairness to the DPWH, they gave us, in that vetting process that we did, they gave us the station numbers and the coordinates of those roads in the trip. You know? And so at least we know that those roads are real and those roads will be implemented, will be built. But admittedly, all of these convergence projects needs to be reformed in a sense that coordination with the different agencies, the DOT, marami ho to ah. There's DOTR, merong DTI, merong merong, yeah, those are the major agencies, may DOT. So they need to improve the coordination and the selection of the projects. They have to do that very tightly so that the projects that are included in the trip will really go to boosting our tourism arrivals. No? So, yung po yung ano.
Mr. President, I asked this before the time of the new team, and it has almost no impact because, again, this was not initiated by the tourism department. It is simply called a tourism pipeline, but these are not actual tourism roads, but named as such by the agency.
I also had a chance to talk to the DOT's secretary, and I also received the same feedback, Mr. President. So,
And so my humble suggestion, I leave it to the chair, is to put it to better use, because if the new team does not even know about it, and the secretary, her turf is tourism, and I'm supposed to defend tourism, but if we agree that it will not even benefit tourism economic destinations, and these projects, I am told, don't even have feasibility studies or detailed engineering designs, how do we defend a 3.7 billion on the trip pipeline if nobody agrees it is beneficial to even the local tourism economy?
I agree with Her Honor, Senator Lauren, and again, I had a chance to consult Secretary Frasco about this, and I also received the same feedback that the roads under trip are not the roads that will boost tourism sites, improve traffic to those tourism sites, and apparently it's not properly coordinated with the DOT. Yeah. So,
The roads and the destinations did not come from them.
in fact, I asked her about the potential of the DOT giving us replacements, roads that will replace the roads under trip, but because time is too short, so she doesn't have time to give us those roads that can be a replacement to the trip projects.
I respect the chair. I will leave it to the better judgment of the chair. My humble suggestion is, first, to solve the backlog of classrooms, although we have already augmented the balance of classrooms needed. But if it's 1,890, and we can focus on the last mile schools or Angida areas, I think this would be helpful. Or if you do not want to use it, we can charge it to savings and we will borrow less. So deficit savings. Hindi po tayo uutang ng mas malaki at ito po'y makakatipid tayo kung tatanggalin natin. But I leave it to the better judgment of the chair.
I'm asking the good secretary, and he has the same answer. You leave it to the wisdom of the Senate.
I would suggest, kasi po, umuutang tayo para sa operations ng ating bansa, sa pasweldo ng tao. Hindi po lahat para sa capital outlay. So bawat tipid po natin ay makakatulong at hindi mabubuwisan ang taong bayan at hindi tayo magabayad po ng interes para sa mga utang sa mga proyektong wala pa naman pakinabang sa ating kaalaman. So in short, if we cannot stand for a project that has been vetted and nobody in this room tonight, can actually stand for the project, and the secretary who is supposedly to benefit her sector at least from the programs even says that they are not familiar with this, how can we